Alright boys, for this video I'm talking about what you actually need to become successful. You've already heard my story that I started off with, like the normal sort of personality and the level of success of like an 18, 20-year-old where, I went to university and I got some girls and everything. But I realized there is one thing that's like linear, that like correlates with any kind of success you want. So success, we're talking about, okay, not just like wealth and, money, but I'm talking about literally studying, getting girls, fitness, any habit, kickboxing, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to get success in. There's one thing that correlates with all of this. And once you start to like realize this, is fucking crazy, bro. It's mindset. And this is like, I know how wishy-washy something like mindset, we're going to talk about visualizations and everything and that type of stuff. Just a few years ago, I would have been pissed off at this video, thinking like, why the fuck are you talking, like what's mindset? Just tell me like what type of videos to upload to YouTube. Well, what are you talking about visualizations? Just tell me what like dating app profile on like fucking Tinder, like what bio should I use? Trust me when I say that all of that stuff, what workout routine you should do, what business you should make, what approach, what's the pickup line, all of this stuff is like on top of the fundamental, and it can only work if the fundamental is fulfilled, and that is your mindset, specifically your self-image, how you see yourself. Chances are you're watching this video, you don't see yourself good enough. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you are, like if you see a pretty girl, I guarantee that the thought goes into your mind that you can't get her. If you see someone talking about money, or if you think about money, or if you think about getting a really, really good grade, I guarantee you have this bitch voice in your head that tells you like, no, you can't do it. It's that same voice, that self-image, the way you perceive yourself, which dictates more of the results than everything else that you do. And I was saying this to Sam, the main sort of first video editor we had on the main channel. And I think we've cracked the code for him and like for myself as well, and probably for anyone else. The thing that's lacking in you right now is your self-image. If you've been putting in the work with everything else, if you've been going to the gym and meditating and, doing like business work or career or studying or anything, and you find that you just wish it was better, you wish you were getting more results, you wish it was a bit easier, it's self-image. Like think about the fat guy, right? We all know, either you've seen your friends with a guy who work with him or anything, or you've just heard of this dynamic or this concept. There's an obese guy who weighs 300 pounds. And he, he's always wanted to lose weight. He keeps trying to lose weight. He keeps trying to go on diets. He goes on a diet and yes, he's finally lost 10 pounds. Oh my God. What happens? Back to 300 pounds. He loses some weight every now and then. He forces himself to lose some weight. He starves himself. He does a lot of cardio and all this bullshit. And then he goes back up to wherever his sort of starting point was. There was a time when, like, I don't really do it anymore, but I used to coach people. And from my main channel, and I got the oldest client I'd ever had. I think he was like 52 years old, married and everything. And he was pretty fat, like probably like obese level. Like I'm not even saying it to insult him. He was actually a really, really nice guy, really polite and everything. And we were really discussing this on our first call, and we just cracked it straight away. And he said, in his words, he says, every time he's tried to lose weight, every time that he's tried to, get fit and everything, it's always felt like he's swimming upstream. Like he's going against the natural force. The natural force is your self-image. When you're trying to like progress in self-improvement, I always like to use the rubber band analogy, like a little rubber band, right? Where you can pull it and like fire it at your friends. And it's got like two sides essentially. What we do is we keep pulling it from this side, but then it snaps. We keep pulling it from this side and it snaps and it snaps and it snaps. This is us getting onto NoFap. This is us going to the gym. This is us watching this video. This is us meditating. This is us doing the real world stuff, right? But that will always be our baseline. And as soon as you slip up, you will snap right back. If you can relate to what I'm saying, please believe me. Like I feel like I've cracked the code of this bullshit. This is the side that we need to change. Like the starting point, the foundation, the direction of the stream is your self-image, how you see yourself. And now there's a lot of reasons, right? With the modern day of everyone being a pussy, with men especially being a pussy, with your father probably being a pussy, with everyone, like female teachers and everything being a pussy and also making you more of a pussy. We don't believe in ourselves. because it's seen as egotistical and arrogant to believe in yourself. If you're the type of guy who says like, yes, I will get X, I will be like an awesome rapper, I will be a really, really good YouTuber, it's like you're slightly put down in a sense, because it's like, nope, you're not being humble, ego is the enemy, Ryan Holiday. But and of course, like, that's a fucking, every time I mock that book, I have to say like it's a fucking sick book, and it's like, you shouldn't, you know, you should try to reduce your ego and be more humble. But the idea is that we've been conditioned and almost like hypnotized to not believe in ourselves. Most people have. If you're watching this video and you don't relate to what I'm saying, chances are that you probably had some really good parents who made you believe in yourself, who gave you a great self-image, and you're like one of the very few. You might not benefit from this video, you might just find it interesting, maybe you can help someone else. But this video is specifically for those guys who have been somewhat put down as kids, that whatever you did was never really good enough for your parents, and they always, like, you know, encourage isn't the right word. They almost like belittled you for the success or lack thereof of the success that you didn't get. And they always like wanted more from you. And although that sounds nice, the thing is, essentially it showed that you weren't good enough. And however our parents treated us is how our mind just starts to just work by itself. So you're going through life with this mind that constantly tells you that you're not good enough for something. And whatever our mind believes, whatever we see in our mind, our body acts. Our body thinks whatever our mind sees is real, and whatever our body acts, because we know with body language, you know, you've seen the stats and everything. Your first impressions are made within 7 seconds, or, you know, the first impression of your body language is the most important thing. 90% of the way that we interact with people is not even with the words that we say. It's just body language. So it all starts in the mind. Your body responds to what you think in the mind, and everyone else responds to your body. Do you believe that? Some people stop there and they're like, no, that's not real. That's, you know, it's a bit weird or whatever. Put it this way. If you act more confident, and people who don't know you, they'd believe you were confident. If you act really shy and reserved, they'd think you were shy and reserved, right? So although this is an obvious point, we just have to like clarify this. The world reacts to your personality. Would you agree? If you're really arrogant, the world will think you're arrogant. If you're really like shy, the world will think you're shy. So the world reacts to your personality, and a big part of your personality gets conveyed through your body language. So the world reacts to your body language. So we've ticked that, we've established that. Now we just have to say, does your body language drastically change due to the thoughts in your mind? Is this true that whatever we think, our body truly, like whatever we think, not only does our body think it's real, but the entire universe thinks it's real? We're starting to talk like very like, you know, those bitches who are into like law of attraction type of bullshit. But I promise you that this shit's real. Put it this way. What happens when you think of a sexy thought, when you think of like some girl that you want to sleep with, or you literally visualize yourself fucking a girl? Your dick gets hard. You didn't even need to touch it. Your dick gets hard. Because your body thinks it's real. So what happens right now if you start visualizing a fight, some guy's picking on you, you start visualizing it, you start to get fucking ready for that fight because your body thinks it's real. So what happens if you keep holding the self-image of yourself that you're not good enough? Your body thinks it's real, so you start acting like a little bitch. You stop, like, you know, you're not going to hold eye contact with her. You're going to look at her in like almost a lustful way instead of a way where you're like equals or you're even better than her. And when you act like that, when your body conveys that, then the world responds to it. People see it and like they take it as a fact. Like, yep, like I'm better than him because look how his body is. So at this point, hopefully now, okay, you're on the same level with me. Like you understand, okay, this is important as fuck. If I could instantly, so it's like somewhat instantly convince myself to update my self-image, to improve my self-image, I would then not feel below other people. I'm lisping because I've got like Invisalign in, like invisible braces in. Just got them like 2 days ago, so it's a bit like uncomfortable in my mouth. And this is where visualizations come in. And it's like this weird understanding of the brain. It is scientific in a sense, but I'll give you somewhat of like the bro science version that I understand. Excuse me. So we can understand there's two parts to our brain. There's the conscious part and there's the subconscious part. The conscious part is all like the real thoughts that we get and everything that we, you know, think about and everything. Subconscious is like, you can't know it. You can't tell your subconscious. You know what I mean? It's like we don't even realize that we really have the subconscious. It just kind of is there. Now, the subconscious part is way, way bigger, and that's what really determines most of our lives. And we can also change this to say that the conscious part is like the manual part of our brain. It's the manual thoughts that we put in our minds, the active part of our brain, the part that we hear. The subconscious part is like the hidden, automatic part. It's like the parts that are generated automatically. How you sat down, for example, on the chair today, that's subconscious. You didn't think, oh, let me put my foot like this, let me put my butt like this. It was subconscious because you've already sat down tens of thousands of times. How this works is then we have manual thoughts. So we think, okay, oh, I've got to go to the gym. Oh, like Hamza's got a new channel. That's a manual thought. The more we have a manual thought, the more likely it is to start being generated automatically. You've spent so long of your life manually putting the thoughts into your mind that you're not good enough, that girl's better than you, that you're a virgin, that you can't get girls and everything, that you can't, you're not a good student, you're dumb, you're not good at math. You've been manually making those thoughts. Eventually they start getting generated automatically. So we have to flip the script. We have to start manually putting in the thoughts into our mind of like positivity, of success, of a great self-image, great self-esteem. The more we do that manually, so we're going to take time, like specifically 5 minutes to literally just think to ourselves that we're good enough, that we're like, we've got a good self-image of ourselves. The more we do that, the more it's going to start getting generated automatically. So the practice of this is visualizations, and there's a few different ways that you can really do this. I've just made a page on my Notion documents. You can do it any way you want, maybe on a piece of paper or just like a little journal or anything. You don't have to like make it detailed. Just have a list of visualizations that you want to do that will almost feel like the end point of the goals that you have. So we, in our minds, want to forcefully think and imagine what we want to become real. So, in other words, the athlete visualizes not the practice. Does that make sense? The athlete like visualizes lifting up the trophy. Let's say the UFC fighters, one of them they visualize their hand getting risen up for the win. That's important. That's so important, because think about it, okay? If you visualize, if you see that in your mind that you've just won this UFC fight and your body reacts to it that you've won, what's going to happen? What happens after you win a competition? Your testosterone goes up. Probably your cortisol like spikes you, and like adrenaline like fucking kicks in that you've just like conquered a fucking human being. Confidence goes up. It's like when we just, I know this sounds weird because in self-improvement and in this, this feminine narrative of the modern world, we say like, don't think about the destination. It's all about the journey. No, it's not, bro. It's literally not. That's silly advice. It's all about the destination. Why? Because when you need the fucking destination. Our mind is like a sat nav. You need to like fuck the journey, bro. Like you need to put in the destination to get there, right? You only get to enjoy the journey if you know the destination. If you're going to a destination, our mind is like a sat nav. We need to put in the destination and allow the sat nav to just take us there and enjoy the ride from that. But it needs to have the destination. So many people will tell you that you're wrong if you've got goals, if you think about the destination. It's the people who think about the destination who fucking who achieve great feats. I'm telling you right now, like every fucking athlete, everyone who's like at the top level in any industry thinks about the destination. They visualize. I'm telling you, like this, I think that this might be like the one sort of weird habit that is the most common amongst high achievers, more than meditation, more than exercise or anything. It's just that they literally just saw and believed themselves to achieve it. The UFC fighter sees themselves like winning, like they see the ref holding up their hand. The basketball player sees him and his team like holding up the trophy. The kickboxer, it's the same thing. He sees himself like kicking the high kick on the face or something. The weightlifter sees himself lifting up 140 kg. This is so important because this is mental practice and we don't usually do this. Do you want to know like the fastest way to improve your approach, your day game approach to speak to girls? The average guy sees a girl that he wants to speak to. Let's say you're in the gym, right? You see a girl. The average guy will sit there and be like, oh, she's really pretty. What should I say? Okay, I'll go up to her and I'll say, what should I say? Maybe, oh, okay, maybe I should devise like a whole scenario where I'll ask her to like look after my stuff, or she looks new, so maybe I'll ask her like, maybe does she need any help or anything? If you're thinking about, that's the journey, right? Because that's the journey. That wasn't like the ultimate destination, to go up to a girl and be like, oh, I can help you. The ultimate destination is to fuck her or sedate her, or at the very least in this interaction, to get her number. That's what you should be focused on. The guy who overthinks about what to do, who doesn't let his brain, the sat nav, lead him there, fucks it all up. Because think about what we've already established, that whatever we think in our mind happens to our body, and the world reacts to that, right? What happens to our body when in our mind we start triple, quadruple backtracking when we think, okay, what should I say to her? What should I say? Like, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do this. What's happening to your body? Are you ultra confident right now? Are you ultra smooth? No, of course not. You are voluntarily putting your whole body in a state of like confusion and shyness and timidness. What if you voluntarily visualize her giving you her number? So you see this cute girl in the gym. Instead of thinking, okay, what should I say? You literally just see the mental movie. Like, you imagine the picture of her handing you your phone back and she's put her number and she gives you like a cute little flirty smile, and you focus on that. You really, really focus on that image, and you like kind of like feel it to be true. Well, now your body's gonna react to the guy who's already gotten her number. So how's the world gonna react to you now? Well, now you're gonna be confident as fuck. You've already gotten her number. Like, now imagine when you go up to it, it's like you've already got this level of indifference because you already act like you've got it. There's like, I'm not gonna link the fucking studies or anything, but there's studies that's tested this shit, that people who mentally practice, people who just visualize, literally get the same results as people who physically practice. So it's like in basketball, there's two groups. There's a group who literally grab the real life basketballs and throw them in practice, and there's a group who literally just sit there and fucking visualize, and they both get the same score. Like, this shit fucking works, bro. But before any like sort of important interaction, whether you want to go speak to this girl, maybe it's with your family, but before any interaction, visualize that moment of success. Not the struggle. Don't visualize the struggle. That's where most like guys, like, it fucking blows my mind. Most guys literally leave themselves right there where they visualize the struggle, and so the struggle is more likely to become real because your body responds in that way. Visualize the success. See yourself succeeding. And it has to be somewhat realistic at first. When you're first starting off and you're a bit of a spurg and you're like a low value and stuff, if you visualize something that's too extreme, your mind and your body is gonna somewhat know that it's not real. If you say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, like this is where people, like, their limiting belief comes in. Like, okay, Hamza, well, I'll just visualize $1 million in my bank. It's not gonna work like that, you dumbass. You still have to go and put in the fucking work. It doesn't, like, visualizations and stuff doesn't just mean something's going to become real. It just gives you an extra boost, like quite a valuable boost to then go and do that thing. And in terms of success, so we spoke a lot about girls, but in terms of success, in terms of business success and wealth, you have to have the belief and the vision inside of your mind that you can achieve that stuff. Do you know how many times I talk about business and work and stuff to people, and they're like, oh, I couldn't do that. Like, oh, that's too much money. I couldn't. That's just a fucking limiting belief. Now that you believe that, the rest of your body's going to believe it too, and now you're not going to do it. Every day I visualize 500k on my screen, 500,000 subscribers. Every set that I do in the gym, I visualize it beforehand now. And I don't know if you're going to believe this, but like almost every single set for the last like 20, 30 workouts I've hit a PR. Almost every single, that's like almost unheard of. Not just, like, you know, one workout, not just one fucking set or one exercise. I'm talking about every exercise, every set. I visualize it beforehand. In bench press, before I go and hit the bench press, before I grab the bar and I'm sat at the edge of the bench getting ready, I don't visualize. Here's the thing, right? So what would you visualize with bench press? See it in your mind right now. What did you see? You saw yourself actually bench pressing, didn't you? That means you're going to do this wrong. That's like the beginner's mistake. We're talking about visualization, so you saw yourself like bench pressing. No. It's the end point. It's like maybe the re-rack of the bar. For me, it's I have like this tracker on my phone called Strong. It's like this app that you put in your workout. I see myself entering in the number that I just lifted, or I see myself fist bumping if I'm like if someone's spotting me, my friend spotting me. I see myself and him fist bumping. We're not visualizing the journey. The journey is the bench press reps. You don't visualize that. Unless if that is like this is where it gets a bit complicated, so I'm not going to dive deep, but you would visualize the bench press if that was the destination of the goal that you were currently working on, for example, with your form. So, for example, when you're about to enter a basketball game, the ultimate goal is for you to win and get the trophy, right? But when you're practicing in your basketball, like you're practicing, you're not in a competitive game, the ultimate goal of that is to get the perfect throw with your hand. I don't know how they do this, right? So that is the destination. Each and every shot you throw, you're visualizing that's like the destination there. If, for example, you're going into the gym specifically, not to care about, weights and PR, but specifically for the form, the correct technique, you would visualize that specifically because that was the destination. It's the ultimate destination of the thing that you want. So most guys think that the thing that they want is simply to go up to the girl and speak to her. That's because they're selling themselves short. That was not the thing you want, you fucking pussy. Don't lie. You wanted to fuck her. So see it in your mind. At the very least of this interaction, you wanted her number. You wanted her to like respond to you flirty. So see that in your mind. And I was speaking to Sam about this, and I feel like I've ingrained this to a good level. Unless he told him like, yeah, like I could probably fuck Kim Kardashian. Like I don't care about like her in particular, or like I don't give a fuck about celebrities. I don't know about celebrities or anything. But I know that she's like, a very, very big famous celebrity. It's like a possibility that I end up sleeping with her. There is no girl who I think in my mind who's like impossible in a sense, right? Whereas Sam, like he showed me like a girl who's his type. I'm really criticizing Sam, but I hope he like watches this video and realizes. But he showed me a girl that he likes. Obviously, Sam's like a bit of like a nerd white boy, so he likes like this. He likes like the same type of girl that a lot of like my white friends like, which is like sort of emo-ish. I don't know how to explain it. Like kind of like slim, but she's got like an okay body. And she's got this emo sort of like e-girl type of like type of vibe, if you know what I'm talking about. And Sam's like, oh no, bro, she's good. I could never get a girl like that. Well, yeah, now you can't because you just convinced yourself otherwise. Let's say objectively she's not into you. Objectively, with the ultimate truth, right? Either way, you're not doing yourself any favors by rejecting yourself. Like, what's the benefit of that? By rejecting yourself, you're just now sad, and you're the guy who's looking up the pictures of the girl he could never get. Whereas it's like when you have this level of like confidence and imagination to think like, yeah, it's a possibility. I could end up sleeping with her. Maybe if I like her, I'll sleep with her. You're the one who's now got the power. I'm telling you, boys, this is some fucking next level shit. And I know that this video and this topic seems kind of weird, but this seems to be the hidden key, and it's really, really hit me recently. It's your self-image. The book that you should look into is Psycho Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. That's psycho, like psychology. Psycho Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. It's a whole book on like self-image. And this concept of self-image really hit me the last week, where if you know about like my personal life from the videos, I've lived like a very low-key life over the last like year. I moved back home with my family home, and I've been wearing the same clothes and everything. I was just going to train gym rings in like the mud and everything. Then the last few months, I joined like the fanciest gym in town, and it's fancy as fuck, bro. It's like the gym price in the UK is fairly cheap. It's like, £17-20 for an average gym. This one is 120. So it's about 10 times more expensive. Like when I tell people that it's this price, they literally go like, oh, like this. And I promise you that stuff like this improves your self-image, because it's like, I'm a member of the best gym in town. And of course, maybe our self-image shouldn't be too tied to like external circumstances. But the thing is, that's like, it's going to happen. If you live in a fucking slum country, or if you live like a third world country with like really, really poor area, it's of course going to affect your self-image. If you live in a very, very nice area, very rich area, it's of course going to affect your self-image. You don't need to like ultimately like get lots of money and like move to a rich area to change your self-image. But a simple upgrade like this has made it so that I'm around people who are just wealthier than if I joined a normal gym. And I've felt in the last week especially that my self-image has changed, because like, I feel like the normal sort of like, not even normal, like the higher sort of tier guy who goes to this gym, that I've got like the confidence and the social skills. I walk in, this camera's fucking annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I think maybe for this separate channel that we have, I might use my phone instead, because it's like it dies every fucking 25 minutes and it's like overheats or some bullshit. It's actually like annoying as fuck using it. But so the last piece of advice I want to give you is just do things that improve your self-image. For me, it was going to this gym and being really social there, and like, you know, really seeing myself as like, you know, being part of the best gym in town and everything. And I ended up going to the gym, and I'll have like every single time I go, right, I literally did this like visualization yesterday of like how many good interactions I had all around the gym yesterday, because the gym has like a sauna, a pool, it does yoga classes and everything. I go in, I fist bump the receptionist, and she's probably like giggling and laughing and talking to me. Then I go up and I make eye contact with a couple of people and smile. Then I go in the changing rooms and there's one of the attendants, fist bump him and I have a chat with him. I go upstairs, one of the personal trainers, this girl who trains like Muay Thai there, she comes to speak to me and everything. Like, me and her are quite like on a nice like friendly basis. I go and like finish the rest of my workout. There's a guy who's like doing muscle ups and everything. I had a chat with him. I ended up speaking to him later on in the sauna, and he's like a full on like self-improvement entrepreneur and everything. And then in the same sauna, this other girl comes in who was in, and my yoga class. I went to a yoga class, had a good interaction with the teacher there. Go into the sauna, and a girl who was in my class comes in, and I have like a really nice chat with her too. And then I also like see the same receptionist going out again. It's like, that's made me feel so much more social and so much more like connected with my sort of community around me, and that's ingrained in my self-image now. It was really this other day, it was like 3 days ago, where it just felt like I was the fucking like, I had like this shit, this was going to be a separate video, but we may as well do this now. It really just hit me like, this shit fucking works, boys. Now, I've had like a pretty good body for a while, and I've gotten, you know, the results of that in terms of, you know, attracting girls and everything. But in terms of like self-image, and especially the self-image that's come from feeling like I'm a successful business owner now and I'm a YouTuber and everything, it really fucking hit me this like two days ago or so, where it like, I can't even explain it to you, the feeling that I had, because it's like it hit me like, oh, this shit works, boys. Like self-improvement works, like self-improvement, it just changes all parts of your life. And it's like people respond to that. Like, this works in the sense that it's like people can tell that you've been on your shit, that you've been like making progress, even for something that's somewhat invisible. Let's say like I'm a YouTuber, but I've not told this person that I'm a YouTuber. Well, the thing is, my self-image and my confidence about myself and my personality has been updated because of this pursuit of having this business. So I'm speaking to this person with more confidence. I'm speaking to this person, and like, we've met each other in the gym on a Monday at like 3 p.m. No, on a Monday at like 1 p.m. And it's interesting, like, it's like, how could you be in the gym at that day, at that time? And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like a fucking like high, it's kind of cringe now that I'm not so much into red pill and saying high value male, but I did feel like that this other day. And it just, like, I was training with my friend, and he said like that fitness model over there, like there's fully like Instagram models, there's like people from Love Island, like reality TV shows who go to my gym, and he's like, that fitness model over there was like fully like eye fucking you, like looking at you. And it's like, it's the same girl as always, it's the same, like, I don't know if she's fully eye fucking me or anything, but like, it's the same girl as like when I come in, she's like full fitness model. Me and her always hold eye contact and like smile at each other. And it's like, I've gotten to the point now, this might not be such a huge thing for anyone else, but I'm sure it is for someone who's watching this, to hold eye contact with a really attractive girl and actually smile and not feel weird, not feel awkward around it. Like, that's the point that I've gotten to now. I go up into the same day, so I had that interaction, I go up into the sauna, and there's like this thick girl with like a fucking like the type of body that I like, and she's in like one of the little pools, and I come in and straight away like we hold eye contact for a little bit, she looks away, we hold eye contact again. I go in the sauna, like I should have spoke to them, but whatever, I go into the sauna, speak to my friend and everything, and I see that the girl's on like one of the sunbeds reading a book about gratitude. So I literally just like got out of the sauna, just spoke to her straight up, just went to her and like said like, what are you grateful for today? She said like, I'll be in here. So I said, okay, give me 2 more. Like, we're proper laughing and everything, and I joined her on like these little like beds or something, like not beds but like, you know, seats or whatever. had a nice conversation about like traveling and everything, got her on Instagram and everything. Like this girl who I'm talking about right now, she looks like the type of girl that I would have been overthinking about just 6 months ago. That I fully would have been like, nope, no, she's way too fit for me. She's got that perfect body and everything. Now it's like, I literally just thought of her as like, yeah, it's just a girl. It's like, because I feel like I'm up here now. That's my self-image because of all this shit. And so your self-image improves through doing all of self-improvements. So, you know, if you get really jacked, if you can make progress in the gym, then your self-image is going to improve. If you make money, your self-image is going to improve. If you know, the environment that you're in, your self-image is going to improve. But that stuff takes a long time, doesn't it? Like, you've probably been on self-improvement for a little while and you've probably felt like your self-image has changed. But like, not a huge amount. You're still largely the same person, aren't you? It's because it's like that stuff takes a while to change your self-image through fitness and everything, because it takes like fucking years to build a good body, right? But visualizations give you your ideal self-image today. Now, even if it's only for like 10 minutes whilst you're just kind of like visualizing yourself with the perfect personality, or you're visualizing yourself conquering all the challenges that you've set for yourself. But think about how powerful that is, that for like 10 minutes or so, you get to feel what it feels like to be at your sort of ideal self with the perfect self-image that you want. Surely straight after that visualization, surely like for the hours after, just like meditation, you should be more like that. If we know how meditation works in the sense that when we meditate, we get an instant boost of like mindfulness straight after. But then if we keep meditating every day, it's like we start getting like a consistent boost. I think that's exactly how visualizations work. So maybe right after this video, just spend a couple of minutes, literally just close your eyes and just visualize yourself at like, it needs to be, you know, authentic to you. So I can't give you too many instructions. Otherwise, I think my personality will like interfere with your visualization. But just see yourself with like the perfect personality. See yourself with the right type of self-image that you want. See yourself conquering the challenges that you want. Like, see, it's a lot about like being that guy. See yourself as that guy, that main character, and it's gonna like just happen. Simple as that. Honestly, it's going to happen. The book, final note, is that the book that taught me to do this, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. The author said to try this for 21 days without coping, without making excuses or limiting beliefs. He said, 21 days, hold your judgment. If it works, it's only for your benefit. So just 21 days, visualize every single day at the same time. Maybe you wake up, brush your teeth, sit there for 5 to 10 minutes and just visualize every single day, maybe before nighttime. I'd recommend, weird advice, but I recommend not doing this just before you sleep, because remember, our body responds as if it's real. Well, imagine before you sleep, you visualize winning the championship, or you win, you know, the fight or something, or you speak to the girl. You'll feel your heart get excited, and it's like now you can't sleep. So I don't recommend visualizing at nighttime. Do it first thing in the morning before you go and do some work. Do it before you go into the gym. Do it mid sets and everything. Like, visualize for 21 days every single day, and then just see what happens. I think if maybe you go to the comments and you write down that you're going to do this, and you keep coming back here, I have a feeling like I'm going to see a bunch of comments. Like, I'm visualizing a bunch of comments of guys saying like, oh, day 7, day 10, day 15, and it's working, boys. Like, it'd be really nice if we like left a log, and I might do that as well. Sweet. This is my first proper video doing it in this long form, no editing, no real script. I've wrote like 2-3 sentences down. So I hope you like it, and just leave me any sort of feedback in the comments, because I feel like I'm not so great at speaking long form. But if it's felt like a nice practice though. Mwah.